Hey everyone, today I'll be talking to you a little bit about the importance of extracurriculars, activities for students, and why it's important to have this experience. I am going into my fourth year at Ryerson University, studying business management, finance. Before I begin, I just want to ask a question. So, what would you say are some of your most memorable university and college moments? Answer for this, there is no specific answer. It's very relative to your experiences and what you think is memorable, right? So, for instance, someone can think that, going after exams, going after midterms, and hanging out with their friends would be something memorable for them. Whereas others might say, dean getting good grades and, being on the dean's list is something they would find more memorable. Regardless of what you find memorable, a lot of times it can be related back to your experiences you've had, and extracurriculars is just one of those experiences. So moving forward, what are some important skills that students need for when they enter the workforce? This is a question, that every student at some point, thinks about, especially if you're in university and college where, things are more important. Once you graduate, you're trying to get yourself into the workforce. But some of the skills are, communication skills, teamwork abilities, delegating skills, networking skills, analytical and financial skills. Of course, there's many more different skills that you need. For example, professional communication is a skill, right? But there are many different skills that you would need in order to get yourself into the workforce in a positive manner. So, jumping right into the reasons why it is important to be part of student groups or have extracurricular experience. First is First is that there's a direct correlation where doing any sort of extracurriculars does in fact improve academic growth. Now, this was something that I read an article on, and I thought, oh, sure, like, yeah, it definitely does help, whatever. Um, but what was interesting to notice is through my own experiences and again, I'm going into my fourth year now at Ryerson, I've actually seen an improved academic growth just for myself, even, in terms of my grades go up as I was part of different organizations and student groups. So, did you know that studies have shown that students who participate in co-curricular activities have a marked improvement in the grades? So that is something very interesting that I've found. And then of course, I can like take that and apply it to my own personal experiences. But what are some key improvements in academic growth? Well, the first and probably the most important is you get better time management skills. And it is extremely important to have good time management skills because it is a key factor for success, right? Being part of student groups, and then also, having to commute to school or university every day, and then, doing your coursework, and then doing, family things. And there's so many different, factors, and things that we go through on a daily basis. And having good time management skills is something you can develop while being part of a student group or having some sort of extracurriculars that you're a part of, right? Second thing is self-esteem boost. And this is important because, as you progress through life, right, you have ups and downs, and some people do need a little bit of extra self-esteem boost, and it is an amazing way to get that while being part of something you really enjoy. And then sense of commitment and sense of responsibility is important, and they're very much similar because as you are part of the organization, you are committing yourself and being responsible for whatever your role is within the organization, right? And then one thing that doesn't always apply, but if you do join a student group or an organization that focuses on something related to your field, that does definitely add value to your learning. All right. So, um, now I'm gonna get a little bit into my own personal story, and I think this is kind of, the reason why I decided to even do this presentation was because, I honestly grew as an individual through my experiences with extracurriculars. While at Ryerson, they're more called like student groups, so it's a little bit more like I'll be saying student groups more, but there's different experiences. Um, but one thing that it really helped my grades actually and my academic performance was that while I was part of all these a few different student groups, I had a chance to focus on other things besides schoolwork, right? I also had a chance to recharge my brain and have a bit of responsibility. So I started off with the Ryerson Commerce and Government Association, and I basically was just a finance associate. So most of my work really involved um, dealing with an Excel file and updating the income, the revenues of the organization, working with the vice president finance at that time, right? So it really, gave me a sense of responsibility that I am, liable for the finances of the organization. So it really helped, me in that sense. And then again, as a finance student, right, it gave me a chance to apply my course knowledge into a nonprofit organization. So, whatever I've learned in my classes, I can just, use that experience and then apply it to my student group, right? And then again, two other things. Again, the self-esteem improved a lot, and then I developed really good time management skills. So, the second thing that's very important with student groups or extracurriculars is the the idea of building connections, right? And very famous or something that I was reading online. Basically, extracurriculars offer students the opportunity to spend time with others of similar interests. Students can meet friends from different social groups by joining a sports team, student government, or debate, right? And how do you build these connections? Well, first of all, if you join a student group or activity that you're interested in, it gives you a sense of excitement, right? So if you're into soccer, joining, maybe the Ryerson soccer team, giving an example, right? Or if you're interested in government and politics, right? Then that's where you can join the Ryerson Commerce and Government Association, which was one of my interests. And then, you get to meet new people, you get to learn something new and exciting, and you also get to really improve your communication and teamwork skills, right? And I know for myself, I used to be a very shy person. I didn't really talk a lot, but that is something I worked on. And then second thing is um, my experiences at Ryerson.